Hello everyone, welcome to Land Reality Consult. Today we will learn how to create 10 digital elevation model and slope from contour line by using ArcGIS. So let's get started. Before we get started, let's give an introductory background to theme, slope, so that we can appreciate what we are going to learn practically. So let's get started. What is a thin surface? They are digital means to represent surface morphology, that is representing the surfaces of the earth digitally. Thins are a form of vector-based digital geographic data and are constructed by triangulating a set of vertices, that is points. There are different methods of interpolation to form these triangles, such as the linear triangulation or distance ordering. The linear triangulation is a perfect method that is recognized by the ArcGIS community. How does a tin look like? This is the picture of a tin. Triangulated networks. Points. Look at this. Triangulated networks. So why tin? Tins are typically used for high precision modeling of smaller areas, such as in engineering applications, where they are useful because they allow calculation of planimetric area, surface area, and volume. So tin is very important for engineering work, where areas are normally smaller areas are drawn into planimetric area, surface area, and volume. So now let's get what we call a slope in GIS. The slope tool identifies the steepness at each cell of a raster surface. That is how high or low of a raster surface. The lower the slope value, the flatter the terrain. The lower the slope value, the flatter the terrain. The higher the slope value, the steeper the terrain. Methods of calculating slopes. There are two main methods. One is planar method. That is, the calculation is performed on a projected flat plane using a 2D Cartesian coordinate system. And the second method is a geodesic method. The calculation will be performed in a 3D Cartesian coordinate system by considering the shape of the earth as our ellipsoid. How does slopes look like? So 0 to 2.5. The lower the slope value, the less steeper it is. 2.5 to 5, 5.0 to 10. So 40 to 55 means that those areas are very steep, and the green area, which is red, and the green area 0 to 2.5 are more like the slopes. So this can help in planning, other town planning, to identify areas which are normally susceptible to flood and areas that are not normally flooded when it rains. So this is a very important tool in GIS that can enhance planning. So let's also talk about digital elevation model. It is a digital representation of the land surface elevation with respect to any reference datum. Digital representation of the earth surface in terms of elevation, in terms of height, with respect to a particular datum. DEM is the simplest form of digital representation of the topography. DEMs are used to determine terrain attributes such as elevation at any point, slope, and aspect. Digital elevation model. This is an example of how a digital elevation model looks like. And now, this is the end of the theoretical aspect of our subject. So now, let's demonstrate practically by using ArcGIS 10.7.1. So let's get started. Open your ArcMap. This is my arcmap loaded with what? Digital elevation data, where we have a high height of 484 and the lower is -10. So this is a typical of an elevation data. So we want to create a 10 triangulated irregular networks, and also we want to create slopes to see in our area how it looks like in terms of slopes, how steep the areas are and how low the other areas are. So open your Arc toolbox. After open your Arc toolbox, you can go to 3D analysis tools. After 3D analysis, click on conversion. After conversion, come to raster to 10. Raster to triangulated irregular networks. This is a raster image. So now we are converting this raster image to what? Triangulated irregular networks. So double click on raster to 10. Click on this. Save your data. The output product in a particular folder. So you can save it at any folder that you like. So I will save it at try demo, which I will name as try 10. Save. Z tolerance is optional. You can just click OK. Yes, this is our thing that has been created. This is triangulated irregular networks. That is very fundamental for engineering works. So basically that's how to create a 10 using a DEM data. So now let's also practically demonstrate how to create slopes. Slopes are also very good, especially when you are conducting town planning or construction of dams for agricultural purposes. You want to know areas that are liable to flooding, an area that cannot be flooded during rainy season, and also areas in terms of agriculture, which areas that crops can easily be submerged. So for that one, this place, go to raster surface, this slope, you can double click the slope, save it to the folder that you want. At this point I like it to be in this folder, method planner, and just click OK. You see, this is areas. So in terms of our planning issues, areas that are red are very steep. That is 22 to 49. So they are very steep areas. Areas that are green, dark green, are areas that are low-lying areas. So in terms of country planning or town planning, you should be able to determine areas that residential buildings can be built, and areas that maybe dams and other things can be constructed. So with this, you can also even create a curvature, contour list, contour, and contour with barriers. We have curvature.